Squeegee podcast, episode 5 with Pab from Dogorse. Hi, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
I can hear you and see you perfectly. It's awesome.
I've tested everything beforehand.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Love that you got some cool prints in the background.
Yeah, this is my girlfriend's friend she used to work with.
Oh, nice.
These are normally on the sides of buildings. It's quite big, but they're
like paste ups.
No, like he spray paints them all.
Oh, okay, awesome. That's really cool.
He's called Findak.
Okay.
Yeah, worth looking at. He's super cool.
How do you spell it? F-I-N...
F-I-N-D-A-C.
D-A-C.
Yeah.
You're a hard man to figure out, because I was trying to do my research on you beforehand and I was like, what's the business setup, or like how are you like doing your screen printing, because you seem to have been doing it for a little while.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out like
I'm not particularly good with social media and whatnot.
Yeah.
What I'm very, very good at is talking to people.
Yeah.
And making relationships with people. So my entire way I run it all has all been not word of mouth, but mainly my own mouth. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I will I'll talk to anyone about screen printing or anything I'm interested in. And normally, if you meet someone, either they want something printed or they know someone that needs something printed.
Yeah.
So that's
to be in mind, isn't it? Yeah, because that's how I'm like. You keep popping up, and it's like, you know, Jimbo Sutherland, and you know, Old Eltons.
Yeah,
and then,
I know.
Yeah,
good friends with Jack. Yeah. We had a. Did he tell you how we met?
No, but I was seeing it because no. Go on, you tell me how you met, and then I'll...
We met on eBay.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a big job on. And I cleaned a load of screens, and I had to shoot out. My studio is in the garage just attached to my house, and I had to shoot out, and I left them out, herringboned up outside on the wall, and the wind had come along and blown them over. I came herring in. I was in a rush and drove straight over 15 screens, completely trashed them, and then I was like, I need some screens, like quickly. Went on eBay, and he was selling them. We just got chatting, and we've been buds ever since.
Yeah, it looks like you're just like, so he sent you all his old Squeegees as well, right? I saw that.
Well, I bought
them. You bought them?
He looked like he needed the help financially, so
it's just you called them care packages, so I was thinking, is that him just like getting rid of stuff? Or...
I always call things care packages, even if I've purchased it. That way that's the way the missus can't tell how much money I've spent.
I really appreciate you getting one of our shirts as well. That's really awesome.
No, it's really cool.
Thanks for
really
posting
cool.
it and have been
the whole packaging thing was really impressive, actually.
Thank you.
I'm
going to send you another one because you've come on the podcast, so I'll try and
we've got my address. So.
Yeah, exactly. I know you're sizing your address already. Yeah. So that's all sorted. So, do you just like? Do you even have like a website, or is it literally just all word of mouth stuff? You just go.
No, it's pretty much all word of mouth. Well, I have my Instagram. My Instagram's more like a personal thing, but literally like a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to Jack, and he said like you need to like actually have an online presence because it's. I mean, it is getting a bit ridiculous. So yeah, I'm literally like 3 days ago, I started setting up an Instagram for the actual business. Rather than my personal one, which I'll eventually migrate over to.
So what is your business called?
Dogorse. Dogorse.
No, I was like dog horse. No, it's dog.
Yeah,
horse.
it's like the body of a horse, but the head of a dog.
That's so funny.
Oh, that was
a dog's dog.
The first T-shirt I ever printed was a Dogorse. Because when I first started, for someone, I said to my friend, because my friend's a bit nutty and he's always has really like weird T-shirts on. I said, if you ever think there's something weird you want in the T-shirt, I'm thinking of getting into it. And he literally didn't even pause. He went, Dogorse. I went, what? He went, Dogorse. Body of a horse, head of a dog. Put it on a T-shirt. I went and scribbled something down. I went like this. He went, yeah. And I had it to him in like 2 days. And I said, can I like make that my company? But yeah, fine. That was it. Never looked back.
That is the funniest. How did your business get its name thing that I've heard so far?
It's just he's one of those people. Everything that comes out of his mouth is utter gold, but he doesn't realise it. So I was like, I've got a capital. I mean, I bought the domains. I've got literally all the web domains sitting there. The second he said it, I was like, I need to buy. I bought it all with the intention of going online. That was in like 2012. I haven't yet.
So you've been printing since 2012. That's a good.
Well, I started off. Well, I actually printed before then. Did a bit at college, did a bit at university, and then I got lent a machine. I had to make some stickers. Someone got lent one of those little cameo machines. Yeah. I thought, this is cool, and so I made loads of stuff. I made a 210 t-shirt order for someone on that little machine. On a cameo. Yeah. When you have to, you could be resourceful with whatever you've got, I think. Yeah, I mean, it was like I classic case of me biting off way more than I could chew. Mm-hmm. But I came through. Like I did it. I think I was a day over the deadline, but it was a long deadline anyway. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I got them done, and I was like, I need to find an easier way of doing this, and that's what I remembered about screen printing. Yeah. That would be easier than like watching that go around. That's funny. So do you have considerably? Do you have like a parallel job, or is this like screen print your whole like? Because I know you're super interested in the Volkswagens as well. I thought you might do something. Yeah, no, that's just another hobby that I spend most of my money on. No, actually, I actually work on a caravan park like mostly. Well, I say you call it a full-time job, but then I come home and have another full-time job, which is literally I get back and I'm printing like or doing something in the studio the second I get back. Yeah, pretty much every weekend. But it's like having two full-time jobs. Yeah. You're like, which one? Yeah, at least one's got hours though, right? Like the caravan park's got the hours. So yeah. Shut off from it. Yeah, and I'm one of these weird people. I don't sleep a great deal. So like I'm quite happy to like be a night owl and stay up till like 3-4 in the morning printing if I have to get a big order done, and then I'm back at work. So how are you like? Are you levitating towards a certain type of customer that you're trying to like get, or is it just like the person that you're getting on with, and then you're just taking on whatever they give you, or like? I tend to get in. I don't, because of the circles I roll in. I tend to get into like clubs of people. So like my two like main customers, one's a car club and one's a fishing club. And the great thing about clubs is they tend to have a lot of repeat orders. Yeah, and you know, once this whole system's explained and everything, they understand it. You know, I've got those two clubs, and there's always someone within the club that has someone who needs something doing, and I always make a point of sort of trying going. I'm not really into fishing and stuff, but I've got another couple of like jobs out from other people fishing that see my work and then sort of likes it, and that's pretty much all how it works for me. I've got a few like smaller customers, but it's funny you're saying like Jack's telling you to go online and stuff, because it depends what your like ultimate goal for the business is, isn't it? Because if you're happy like with the scale that you're at, or are you looking to get a bigger studio set up? Yeah, I mean, I think that the main reason is he sees a lot of the stuff. I share a lot of stuff I do with him, and he's like, that's really cool, like people would like to see it. I think that's the main reason. Rather than, I don't really need more business, to be honest with you. I'm at a level where I've got more than I need. I'm not at the point I'm turning things away. I can keep going with what I have. But yeah, I think people have asked me, where can I see your work and stuff? And I'm like, well, I can WhatsApp you a couple of pictures if you want. No, you can't. Like, I think, or at least a WhatsApp as like a portfolio, as like, not even for people to scope you out, just to keep sharing it, and so you can refer back to it. And I think the problem with the portfolio, like I did think about doing like a PDF I could send on, or even just a couple of pictures, is that they could be shared on by people on and on and on, but it's not up to date with what you're doing. So you could find even 6 months down the line, like, you know, how you progress with your skills and what you do and what you're capable of doing. You don't want to be in a situation where that's still being that, oh no, he's not really suitable for the job because he, you know, this is what he does. Yeah. So I think the online is the way to go. I'm not sure it will catch on, this internet business.
No. Can't see it happening.
No, it'll never work.
Oh god, that's basically what I write for Images magazine, this tiny little thing here. And that's just me, just trying to convince the older generation. It seems to be the older generation who I feel like I'm talking to from the magazine, but I'm trying to convince them, like, if you want to do it, this is how. I'm trying to break it down for them, but some of them think like it's past them and they can't be bothered with it anymore.
A lot of it as well is that there's a difference in how people think about things now. Is that a lot of, I know a couple of people, like older printers as well, and they just literally, there was always big jobs coming in, they did the job, people didn't really question it, like, oh, you need t-shirts, you go to a printer, you get them done. People are much more interested in the process now, and like most people are, yeah, exactly, yeah. So they want to know, and the easiest way to do that is to just have a video of you doing it, rather than writing down, oh, this first I do this, then I do this. Like you watch a video, it's there, it's done. Like, yeah, and that's actually invaluable. Also, without even realizing it, people, I think, are pretty good judges of how good someone is at something, even if they don't know the process. Like you watch a video of someone and it looks like they know what they're doing, and you can sort of tell. Yeah. And that's a really good sell. I mean, I follow a few printers on TikTok and Instagram, and I think, right, I wouldn't have done it like that. I know.
You see the t-shirt peeling up and you're like, okay,
yeah, I literally saw one the other day.
But yeah, it's okay. But I think the point that they're putting it on there, kind of the assumption is, like, as someone just viewing it, oh well, it must be good because they're sharing it. So there's that kind of part of it where you think, well, they wouldn't show that in a video if that wasn't their best work. Then maybe there's some self-editing hopefully going on. Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, with TikTok, I don't think self-editing happens as much as it should do. I watched a guy print a shirt the other day, and he must have made 15 passes. Yeah, I know. And I was like, stop it. At first I thought, oh, it's a loop. He's on the wind up, and he kept going. I was like, and then he lifted up, and I was like, shit, how much ink? And it wasn't like it was Mad Specials or something, and it was coming out, and it was like an ink thick. It looked wicked. It was just a normal Common Garden white print, you know.
But they go back and forth as well. You're like, what? You've printed it. Stop it.
Yeah.
It's like shooting someone in the head, and then, like, you've run out of bullets, but you just keep shooting them. Liking it. Yeah. He's dead. Yeah. That's really funny. So, like, and am I right in saying that you also do like embroidery in your? I don't do embroidery. No. I thought I saw something embroidered in your flow, but I might be wrong. Don't worry.
It might be something that looked embroidered, but it wasn't.
Maybe it's an effect or something like that. Yeah, it could be wrong. Can you tell me anything, like, say if other people are trying to set up like a garage kind of setup, like what are some, like, mistakes that you might have made so that they can, like, avoid? Just setting up in a small space, basically. And,
I think the most important thing for any printer, whether it's in a small space or in a large space, but particularly in a small space, is to be clean and tidy. Yeah, I think that is the biggest tip I would ever give to anyone, because the ink just gets everywhere. I've been out there printing before going on a night out with my partner, and I've literally gone out there in the shirt and trousers that I'm going out in, because I know I can go in there and not make a mess. That is how fastidious I am, like, about not making a mess, because I ruined a batch of t-shirts, you know, fun prints all over, didn't see them, and I was like, never again. Just being tidy is important, and managing the space, how you move around the space. I'm in a single garage, but I've got a 5 meter square conservatory going on the side of the house, which I'm going to extend into. Having all the dirty
Your partner
things
happy
on one
about
side.
that? You nicking the
She
conservatory?
didn't really have a lot of choice.
Oh, if you were just sitting there, have a coffee, and then like Sunday in the papers, and you're like,
literally, my friend was doing a job around he's a tree surgeon. He was around this person's literally 2 miles up the road. Big conservatory, they're having a rebuild. He put on the WhatsApp group, I want this. And I went, yeah, I'll come down and see it now. Went down there, saw it. I was like, yeah, cool, we'll take it away. And literally within like a week, we were down there, took the whole thing apart.
Nice, yeah.
And then
really
2 days later, I bought a cruiser. I was like, I need a new press.
You got a cruiser too, yeah. That ups it massively, because I was on one of those, I don't even know what it's called, a workhorse or something, but it didn't have the movable platens and stuff. The movable platens is such a massive upgrade. I mean, not 90% of my equipment I bought from the same place. There was a place that was going out of business in Norwich. I saw it on Gumtree. Didn't really know what I was doing. Went up there. Thankfully, it was all good stuff. Went up there, literally bought the whole lot, rebuilt bits over time. And this is the first real decent bit of equipment that I've bought. Nice. Yeah, I know. Well, what else do you need really? Because you can get. I've done jobs that are like thousands of units on that thing. So unless you're going to an auto, and you don't really need as just in my experience of the jobs that I tend to get, I think it's quite broad. No one's throwing like 10 colour jobs at me anyway.
No, most people don't want to pay for a 10 colour job. That's the biggest thing.
Us. Yeah, I think on our scale, on our end of the scale, we're not going to be the most economical for that. And then you might as well go to a different process. So
yeah, people find it really weird when you turn around and say, like, I'll be quite upfront with people. If someone say, oh, like, then if they know a little bit, you know how a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. Oh, I've been looking at all these t-shirts. I want like a 6 colour and this and that. And I'm like, cool, I'm not doing it for you. They're like, what? And I was like, I won't be doing that for you. Like, you need to go to someone with an auto or someone with bits. Like, oh no, I want you to do it. And I was like, well, then we're not doing it that way. We're doing it. This is what I can do. This is how I do it. Yeah. We'd either do it this way, or I'm quite happy to put you in contact with someone who's more capable. And I think once they understand, they're all right. Or they go somewhere else.
That is genuinely how people should be, because if you keep like saying yes to jobs, like this is like in a different industry, but I went and got tattooed by this guy, and I asked him for like very nice little line work, and I showed it to him, and he was like, yeah, that's going to be tricky, but I'll take it on. And I was like, okay. So we did like my wife's tattoo on her arm, and it was like, okay, right, well, I can't really tell if it's wrong or right because it's, you know, red. They did mine, and halfway through tattooing me in like delicate line work, he was like, I'm not going to charge you for this one. I'm like,
oh shit.
And then I saw that he like dragged it, and I was like, oh my god. I just wished that he'd have just said, that isn't for me. I'm not going to take your money, because if I'd have posted about how I got mauled basically by him, it was the horrendous crap. He should have just said no, passed it on to someone who's better. Because do you think people take on those jobs just because they're like fearing there's a lack of jobs? There must be a lack of, like, they just think.
I'd say the reason most people take on jobs is because they're not pricing the jobs they are doing correctly. I think that's the biggest thing. One of the things I notice is it's such an easy industry for it to be a race to the bottom, and that hurts everyone. So if you're not in control of your pricing, and you're not like, you need to take on everything. If what you're doing isn't enough to cover, you know, what you've got going out, you can't turn things down.
Yeah,
I've never been in a position where I've felt obliged to take things on ever.
I think I did in the early days, but now, thank God, we realised that if we hold out, keep pushing the jobs away, then the good ones just re-sprout up anyway, like super easy ones. Like we work for like a gym that's a big chain, and it's like, yeah, I can do that easily. I know the customer orders well. I could take that on. It would be a dream job, and it just keeps propping up. I think you just leave space for the good jobs, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, when you get people like messaging, oh yeah, can you do me like 5 t-shirts, 6 colour? Yeah. No. but But
You
you know,
should
if I would have said yes to it, I could have said yes to it and charged a ridiculous amount of money. But actually, there's an opportunity lost there as well, because while I'm doing that job, I could be doing a much, a bigger order, less colours for someone that's going to order more. And generally, if someone
and it'll
orders
make
a big
money
order to start with, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
you can kind of see when they're just putting themselves in a big hole, or like they say, oh, I just want to test it out on my mates, and then I'll do a big order in a few weeks. You're like, I don't fucking care. You order with that guy. I'm not.
Yeah, it's when they go, oh yeah, can you do a discount on these? 'Cause I'm going to order more, and I'm like, no, what I'll do is I'll do a discount on the next lot you do. that's more. I mean, the amount of actual, like, I feel like part of our job in a way as garment decorators is to give some people a bit of a reality check, because the amount of people that have come to me with brands they want to start up thinking they're going to be the next Supreme because they've got a random word generator on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
no,
you need to, I'm happy to do the job, but just be aware that I've had this many customers who've had a similar thing to you, similar MO, it hasn't worked for them and they've hemorrhaged money on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if you really want to push through, I'll do it. But I think we're sort of the last line of defense before they become shop rags.
I know. I am actually talking to some small brands. I'm like picking out lots of different people who are using like screen printing. So it's really cool to like hear your side of it, which is quite similar to mine. And then I want to hear the brands that are actually like taken the advice of the screen printer and then managed to actually get it off the ground.
I mean, you'd hope so. I mean, you wouldn't go to a mechanic and then with the problem with the wheel, and it goes, yeah, this is it. And you go, no, I think it's the exhaust. You just wouldn't do that, would you?
No, I know. You're just questioning.
It's like the amount of people we deal with, you think they go, oh yeah, they probably do know what they're doing. But yeah, you don't get 50 grand's worth of equipment and you by not knowing what you're doing.
I know. I think people question doctors. That's another. They go, oh, I saw it on Google. I Google MD'd myself.
Yeah, really odd.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is every industry or if it does just.
No, it is. I've worked in all sorts of businesses, and yeah, people want to think they know better, which is fine. Like, I'm sure I do it when I go places.
Yeah,
I hope I don't, but I'm sure I do.
So, like you were saying about like getting all that stuff from the Norwich place, did you take everything, like all the inks, and try and work with those and the emulsions? Did you have any problems?
I didn't take emulsions. I just knew I wanted to do it, and I knew I was going to get into it. So actually, the first thing I bought a massive Kippax vacuum table.
Yeah.
And it was in Manchester, and the guy had only used it once. He bought it for a job. Decided he didn't want to do screen printing.
Like how these people got this money?
Yeah, I mean, he was a sticker maker.
Okay.
And he had like a must have been a 10 or 15,000 square foot building full of all these sticker machines. And he said, I wanted to go back to old school and do some like hand pulled falls and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And he said, I couldn't get into it. I didn't have the time to spend on it. I literally, he told me he was selling it. I drove up and bought it. And then about a week later, I saw this stuff in Norwich, and I was like, yeah, I went and bought the whole building. So I bought there was an exposed unit, washout booth, flash dryer, 6-color, 1-station carousel.
Brilliant.
There was a full, the old Union Pantone mixing system.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's called Mix Opaque or something like that.
I think it's mixer tape. Am I saying that?
Yeah, it's got a really weird name,
tape.
literally, but like not the small pots, the big like. And
did you go up in a van, or you went in?
Yeah,
in your
got a van, haven't I? So
yeah,
I took a trailer as well.
Yeah.
And then and then got it all back, and I had to rewire. I mean, the exposure unit is an absolute unit. It's an old pad printing unit for doing printed circuit boards. All
right. So is it like a metal halide bulb, like, so it's serious?
Yeah, but it's got a light. It's got a light integrator on it, which is really handy for like. Can't we getting nerdy now? Really handy for if the bulb's deteriorating, it will still put the same amount of lumens out. You just adjust the time itself, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get on mine, but I just couldn't get anyone to like work it in. So that like reads the amount of UV output and then like adjusts the time.
Reads the lumen. So you just basically, if I know how many lumens, however many, if I do a 2-1 or 2-2 coat on the screen, I know how many lumens I need to expose it. I've got a cheat sheet, and I just, well, it's all saved on the machine now, but I punch it, and you can tell when the grades, when the lamps degrading, because it just takes that little bit longer, but it doesn't affect the exposure. I've not lost a screen. I'm not having to do an exposure calculator again.
Yeah,
but it's doing it all for me. Yeah, it nearly killed me.
What, did rewiring it?
No, the actual machine fell on me one day. It's massive. It probably weighs 500 kilos. This thing it took 4 of us to get it off the trailer, and I put it in. And I thought, I'm going to put it on wheels. So I had some wheels made up. It's not come in
parts. Like you couldn't just like take it off. Mine comes in like 4 parts, so you can like just get it.
Well, this is a, rather than a bottom up. This is a top down. So there's a big metal beam that goes at the back, and the lamp's on a, and because you can adjust the height of the lamp based on the size of the artwork.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's I'll send you a picture. It is massive, and 4 of us to lift it, and I'm going to put it on wheels. And I thought I'll be able to do that by myself. So I had a car jack in there, lifted it up, and it fell. And I saw my, you see your life flash, and I was like, I'm done. This is me. I was in slow motion. Thankfully, I'd taken a shelf down, and there was a bracket still there, and it literally went thunk, and it sat like that, and I was like this underneath it, like something from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I was like, and I went indoors, and I was shaking. I went indoors, and I said to my Mr. Joanne, I said, I need you to make me a cup of tea, and then I need you to go and tell me how close I was to dying. Well, she went into the garage, and she walked back in, and she was like, don't go back in there for a couple of hours.
Until you get your mates around to like close it off.
Yeah, I still did it by myself. I got it all back together, but it was never again.
Yeah, well, that's a bloody good unit that you managed to like.
Yeah, it's old. It's an old Graphitech. It is. I had to actually completely rebuild it because it's designed to expose on really thin plates. I had to take the top off, and then I had a piece of glass made that goes on top of it rather than underneath it. So the vacuum pulls from underneath and pushes the image up to the glass.
Oh wow, I can't even imagine what that looks like.
It's basically an exposure unit upside down.
Yeah.
So I put the screen in and the image on, which is actually really handy being able to line it up on top, and then the lid comes down onto it, but the lid's clear and the light's above it. But my exposures are like 15 seconds with it.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous, but deadly.
I've been trying to like, I know my setup, but then do you know, like people on Instagram constantly asking me like, oh, what emulsion are you using? I'm like, yeah, I've got Acetol Z1, but I've also got an immense metal halide system, and I'm producing screens for so many different applications like water-based plastic, oils, solvents, all these different, like people printing super fine shit like graphics printing and switchboards and everything. So my setup isn't your setup. So I try and like.
Do you ever go on screen printing on r/screen printing on Reddit? It is just it is a deluge.
Screen printing forum.
The Reddit, but the Reddit, the subreddit for screen printing. It is basically just people asking about exposure times. It's literally the whole thing, and it's like, here's an exposure calculator. Like, this is what you need to do. Oh, but how long does it take you?
I know.
Like, you're not going to do. Oh, I'm going to use the sun to do it. Sweet. We'll see you tomorrow when you've wasted a gallon of emulsion.
Yeah, we're not in the middle of the desert. And,
no, it is. I mean, there is some cool stuff on there, but it is the same question over it. I think screens are the hardest thing. Printing's easy. Printing is easy.
Yeah.
It's the getting to it that's the difficult bit.
Yeah, I've seen curing be hard for people as well. When some poor bastard sent me a shirt, and it was like, she was showing me just because her lines weren't coming out nice, and I was like, this isn't even remotely cured. How many have you sent out? Like, it was awful.
Yeah,
how many of these have you sent out? She was like, yeah, I sent out like 50. I was like, to a school as well, and it's like that's dispersed into all the kids. So it's like.
Did you always have a tunnel dryer?
No.
We were.
we were very much flatbed here. In this studio, we had 3 flatbed print things, and then I just got a single on press for the t-shirts, and then I just fell in love with the t-shirt printing. No, I had a heat press for a long time on its own, just doing water-based ink.
Because I started with an oven, like an actual old oven.
How did you do it with an oven without setting a light?
Well, I did loads of times.
It says on your Reddit post, put it in the oven for 20.
Well, I'd seen somewhere, and I was like, oh, like if you haven't got a tunnel dryer, just use an oven. Just put them in the oven on a baking sheet. And I was like, well, it probably would work. So it doesn't really work for white t-shirts, but everything else, like, it's not quick. It's not quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I finally got my tunnel dryer, I was like, I couldn't. But the tunnel dryer was twice the size that it should have been when I went to go and pick it up.
Yeah. Like you go into your house in the kitchen and you like open the oven, it's got fucking t-shirt in it again.
Oh no, I had a separate oven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had an oven in the studio.
Oh, I see. God, so you're just getting it up to like the physical heat.
Yeah.
That's just funny.
Yeah. The only issue with it is like because you lose a load of heat when you open the door.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful. I had like loads of like baking sheets out, and I try and do 2 or 3 at a time. Will never do it with a hoodie ever. If anyone new is listening to this, never put a hoodie in the oven.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So don't key your screens with the sun and don't put the hoodies. Why don't you put the hoodie in the oven if you're putting t-shirts in? Just because it's set to light, or
the hoodie has a tendency of sort of flopping a bit once you put it in there. So if your oven's not particularly clean, it doesn't do the hoodie any good. But also you'll take it out and it will be 300 degrees and like holding a really hot octopus. And you're like I don't suggest doing that.
Okay, good. Top tip.
Not that you need to, you're fine, but anyone else.
I know. Yeah, the figuring out what kit though. I know you've done it off eBay, but doing the research to figure out what equipment you can get in your studio for your power and everything is really hard. Like,
well, I was very lucky when we bought the house. I knew that I was going to be printing in there. Wasn't quite aware of how intense it was going to be. I had when we had the whole house more or less rewired, and our consumer units in the garage. So I had a separate unit put in for that, and it runs off the same electric, but it's got its own meter, and same for the water. So I know exactly how much water and electric and things I'm using in there, and everything's rated for it. I've got like the 32 amp blue pin plugs. The only thing I haven't got is 3-phase, but that's fine.
That's held us back a bit. So 32 amp plug, that's what they put on ovens, isn't it? In normal kitchens.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what I had to get the electrician to put in here. He's a bit like, oh, I'll just do it and not tell you about it. And I'm like, I actually really want to know, but like, don't pass me over. He's got a big old, he had to come in and put that in because it kept blowing the electrics because of the power. Yeah,
it will. It's mainly for the tunnel dryers and things. Like my tunnel dryer is 3-phase, but I paid a guy to rewire it for me. Really? So I'm not sure if it's going to work. I said, if it works for like 6 months, it will pay for itself, so that's fine. Yeah. I had it, and it's been years now. Been absolutely fine. I
think it's just less efficient, right?
Yeah. Just turn the belt speed down. Like, that's all I do. That's all I do.
I tried to get a guy across the road to turn it from single phase to 3-phase. I don't know. Anyway, he quoted me like $1,000 to do it, so I was like. At that point, I was like, "That's definitely not worth it." So I sold that one on. Talking about eBay flips, I sold that one on for like more than double what I paid for it because I went up in a van and got it from an old factory.
Nice.
And then like this other person, it was sat outside for months. I'm thinking like, is this still okay? I can't test it because I can't plug it in. I can't even get it through the door. So yeah, I've definitely done some bad eBay purchases. But
I've had some. I don't drink anymore, but I used to. And I woke up one morning, and it said that I'd spent money on some screen printing stuff, and I was like, standard, this is what I do. I get drunk and I buy things, and I'd forgotten about it. I was going to count the half. Like, it's just some screens or whatever, and I thought they'll always be handy. And about a week later, this pallet turned up.
A pallet.
And there were
They're like, where do you want it, mate?
Yeah, I was like, what's that? He's like, it's for Luciano. And I was like, yeah, it's me. He's like, yeah, sign here. And I was like, what is it? And it was a pallet of 600 by a meter wooden screen printing screens that I bought. Completely useless to me. I can't expose them. I've got no room to wash them out. Yeah. I mean, they're wood, so I don't really want to use them anyway. And it's from an old tea towel factory. That's where I bought them from. And they just turned up, and I was like, oh, a bit of firewood.
Oh, so yeah, would you make something? What are they doing now? Just sat there still, or
they are currently used as I cut them all up, and they're used as pegs for holding down the concrete base from my new conservatory. So they have helped a bit.
They had a new life.
Yeah, they got used. They got used.
That's really funny. Okay, let me just think about some more things to talk to you about.
I have got the list of all the questions you sent me.
That's okay. So like, if you're trying to advise people on like where to go with their printing, like what kind of like blanks and things are you steering them towards, or like, do you have any favorite like brands of like garment that you're pointing them to?
Yeah, I mean, generally, I'll let the customer dictate what they want printing on. If they're desperate for a cheap blank and it's a one-off, a charity thing, whatever, I will say, yeah, fine, get whatever cheap one you want. Won't print on the Fruit of the Loom. I refuse to print on the Fruit of the Loom.
You draw the line.
Yeah. I printed on the Fruit of the Loom once, and I had my I literally just put fresh palette tack down. Yeah. And I never go all the way up to the edge because, you know, there's no point, just a bit you're printing. And I pushed it down and I pulled the squeegee back and I heard this noise and I was like, what is that? And lifted it up and I'd ripped the collar off the top of the shirt.
From some palette tack?
Yeah, because the palette tape was holding the shirt down, but not the collar. So I'd literally, where the squeegee when I'd gone up to it, it just gone, thunk.
Jesus.
And I was like, not printing on one of those again.
I don't think it's cotton. I don't think it's cotton.
No, I don't think it's bison grass or something ridiculous. I don't know what it is. But
I've got some really good deal on this bison grass at the back. Do you want some of that?
I mean, generally, I like printing on the AS colour blanks. They're really nice.
Yeah. They do a really good stand as well at the expos. You like get really sucked in.
I'm looking forward to that. My first one will be in February.
I have a feeling it's getting postponed.
Oh, is it?
That's what I keep hearing from people who are like doing stands. They're like, it's 90% chance that it's getting like pushed back.
It is what it is. It's not.
Yeah. I'm definitely going. I want to see the. It's quite sad, but it's like it's really fun. It's kind of like when you're a kid going on a school trip, isn't it?
I don't think you'll meet a geekier group of people that don't look like geeks than screen printers.
Yeah, that's a really good quote.
Because we all look more or less the same. Like, how many screen printers do you know that have beards, wear beanies, and have glasses? We're basically hipsters. Yeah. And like,
they can't be employed by normal jobs, so we had to come up with our own one.
And it's all, but it's such it's screen printing is like the perfect mixture of science and art and creativity, because you have to know exactly what you're doing. Once you've dialed your process, like the world's your oyster. Yeah. And it's got that sort of every step. This is the reason I fell in love with screen printing. Every step of it is satisfying. Every step, the artwork, doing the artwork when it works, satisfying. Printing the positives off, satisfying. Coating a screen when you get it absolutely perfect, satisfying. Exposing it, satisfying. Printing it, exposing it, happy customer. Like it's all satisfying. The whole thing's satisfying. And you have to have a certain level of passion and geekery to get to there, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And also there's that little bit that you just said, like happy customer. And what I really enjoyed is it was a little while ago when customers used to come to the door instead of you just posting it off and you don't really see the results sometimes. You're like, I don't even know if did they like that decision I made? But when I used to have them coming to the door, I'd sometimes say like, oh, do you want to open it up and see how you like it? And then sometimes it's like they put so much money into it and like they've just done all the time on the artwork and then it coming into a real thing and you just like watch them enjoy that shirt that you've produced for them. Like that's just bloody awesome, isn't it? So
it's quite easy to forget actually how sort of special what we do is. I think it's quite, and it's when you need those reactions of people to go, well, you printed that, like, yeah. That's why when you see someone, like you follow someone else on Instagram and you see they've done something and you're like, as a printer, you see another when you go, that shit is fire. Like that is such a cool feeling because then you're like the customer. Yeah. In that you know exactly how they feel. That's why I enjoy that.
Yeah, it's tricky sometimes like when you're putting out content and you're like, did anyone see that? And then someone might bring it up a few months later or something. You're like, oh, brilliant. It's kind of like I really like that that Lego man you made.
Oh yeah.
The self-portrait Lego man. Like, that's so cool. That should be like everyone should. I'm gonna definitely share it on my thing.
Well, I've actually I need your address because I've been meaning to get around to printing them. The reason I designed that Lego man was for shop shirts.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I'll send you guys a couple of shop shirts. I was supposed to print them over Christmas, but being fat and doing nothing happened instead of any printing. I've got all the blanks and stuff sitting here ready to go. But yeah, I had this idea and I was like, that'd be cool. Like,
it is cool.
Do me as a little like utterly confused, like. What's going on?
You've got like all the perspectives on the screen bang on and the squeegee.
Yeah, well,
so
I went to architecture school, so I did a lot of 3D and things like that. So that's where I get that from.
Your lecturer's like, he hasn't designed any houses, but this Lego man's on point.
No, I don't think I turned up to enough lectures for him to know what.
I know. I nearly got into like architecture and stuff, but I think people with our kind of like way of thinking, we just always gravitate towards like these creative industries, and it's just like a cool way to express yourself. Like,
I haven't got the patience for doing that. I've got the patience for it. You know, it's if you want to, you can go in and start a job and like get one printed on the press within a couple of hours, like start to finish it. If that's really satisfying. Like, the completed finisher in me enjoys that.
Are there any like ultimate customers that you're trying to like work on at the moment? Like you're trying to get in to do jobs for? Or?
No, any customer.
You're excited to do your shop shirts, so.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, to be honest with you, I enjoy doing it. Every time I have something on the press, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like apart from I recently printed some towels.
I saw you printed towels. I was like, that's why I thought it was embroidery. So I was like,
towels.
I embroider towels, I wouldn't think to screen print them, but.
And there was a lot of swearing. But they came out really cool in the end. But I had to, you have to heat press them all afterwards because there's no way you get it smooth with the nap of a towel. And like I'm printing on these towels, and you print on one side of it because there's both sides. One side of it, the nap goes in your favour. That's cool. You print the other side, and it's the other way around. And you're like,
there's all like gnarly like that. I've never thought to screen print on them.
Yeah, they're specific towels. They've got like they're really designed for heat transfer. They've got like they're a nice fluffy towel, and then there's like a section at the bottom that you can just put. I mean, lining it up is a pig as well because the towels are so stretchy. But
where would you even get those from? Like
Roller.
Sourcing? Does Roller always have them?
Yeah, they're like little. I think they're actually golf towels. Yeah, they're AR114.
They have some random shit on that website. Have you seen it on Christmas? They're like, we accidentally bought all this Christmas shit that you could get.
Did you see?
Reel it out every year.
Did you see Jack's Christmas top that he bought from them? He bought one of those pink and yellow. Looks like Mr. Blobby was playing golf.
Yeah, I know, it's quite hard. Like you're trying to do a serious job in pricing, and you're like, what the fuck is that? I definitely have to get that for myself.
Pricing's impossible, isn't it, anyway? Like, you may as well have a bit of fun on the website.
Yeah, exactly. All the models though, the poor bastards. Do you know, like you go to work and you're a model and you're like, come back home and you say, oh yes, so I did some t-shirts and some hoodies. And then they're like, oh yeah, we put them in a blanket with a hood. And the guy's trying to look like sexy on the couch. I find that so funny.
I always find it weird because I don't really need to see what it looks like on someone, because I just want to see what colour it is. What colour is it? How big is it? Have you got any large in stock? That's what I don't need to see. There's one particular one. There's a hat on Rala, and the guy, it's like a camo cap, and it's saved in my favourites because I order it quite a lot for.
Yeah.
And the guy's like this in the picture. And I'm like, every time I open it up and I've got my favourites, he's looking at me and I'm like, am I judging him or is he judging me?
I think he actually is doing his job well, and he sold you that hat, but you might not know it. It was his cheeky look, and he persuaded you to make that into your favourites.
He's doing his job well, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they definitely don't slack off. They're like, give it to me. I'll do some socks.
What's really weird is because they have so many, like, obviously so many brands they deal with, like with pen carrying stuff as well. Like, they have so many brands to deal with. You see all these models. Every now and again, I see an advert for something else completely unrelated to screen printing, and I'm like, where do I know that person from?
I have to recognise the model.
Yeah, because you end up scouring these both these websites for hours and hours looking for stock. So you see the same face over and over and over again.
Are you my friend?
It must happen to him all the time.
Yeah, that's funny. That's the best bit of Printworks promotion as well. It's like when you hear the thing and it's like, oh, and now we're having the catwalk. You're like, yes, please. I fucking love the catwalk. It's so funny. Oh my god, it is funny. I definitely, hope they've got all the dancing, flipping models and stuff like that.
I've never been. This will be my first one. You're really selling it to me though, like.
Good, because just base yourself around the catwalk. Try and like get yourself some free cocktails from a random thread producer or something. It's like, I'm having a cocktail and you're like trying to sell me needles. It's really weird. Really ambiguous. Oh, it's funny. Cool. So I'm gonna look up Dogorse.
Yeah, you won't find much at the minute. I have started an Instagram. There's nothing on it. It's so bare. Even the logo isn't centered in the Instagram circle like it is. I think the actual Instagram is dog.orse.
Dog.orse.
O-R-S-E, yeah.
Well, that's why I can bloody find anything, because there isn't anything there. No. I'm normally quite a good forensic.
No, you won't find me. You won't find me.
Well, at least I'll follow the Instagram channel from the beginning, I can say.
Yes, indeed.
Not from your like screen print journey, but hey.
No, I'm going to try and be more active with what I put on there. I do some cool stuff, but I just never. Oh, the other thing I find is it's really weird asking customers like, "Oh, can I put this on my Instagram?" Like, because you always have to ask them. You don't want like, and some of the stuff I'm printing for like brands like, and they're selling their jumpers at shows or whatever, car shows and things, and they don't want me to be the first one to post it. They want to be, so I have to wait anyway. And sometimes I'm printing like 4 or 5 months in advance for those guys. Yeah. So then by the time it rolls, I've just forgotten about it.
I had that problem and then I just did it the other way around. So I said, I'm going to post this on Instagram unless you tell me you don't want it, which is a bit, but I don't think it is, because it kind of, I mean, it's not, you're not posting the picture of their newborn baby before the world sees it.
Oh, some of them act like it is.
Oh no, it's funny. Yeah, who knows? I really appreciate you coming on, by the way, like at short notice.
No worries. And, no worries. Oh, to be honest with you, I was like, I'm free. I was like, no way she'll want me on. You were like, cool. And I was like, I better have a shower.
No, I definitely want your perspective. It's like, yeah, we need like to, I want to talk to all sorts, like everyone's like on loads of different scales and use cases, and like people doing it for artwork as well, because I don't think many people talk about like that side of it. Like t-shirt printing gets a lot of the
Yeah, t-shirt printing is like the rock music of screen printing, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true.
My first proper printing, when I said I was going to get into it, my partner bought me a 2-day course at Print Club London.
Oh yeah,
We went and did flat stock printing down in Dalston. That was really good.
I went and did the 1-day one, but it was like there was about 15 of us, and but
it's cool. It's a cool place, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice, and they've got like they kind of got like offices now, haven't they? And
yeah,
they do the exhibitions.
And you can like pay to be a member there and go and use the.
By the way, you're not hipster enough if you like think you're quite hipster, and then you go in there, you're like, no, I'm
not hipster enough. I still drink normal milk in my coffee.
Yeah.
My milk hasn't come out of a legume.
I know. I feel like more people push alternative milk on me than drugs. So it's like I can't.
It hasn't come from a nipple. I'm not drinking it.
That's disgusting.
Milk wise, not every liquid. It's milk.
very specific. That's really funny. Yeah, I know. Okay, you got so many sound bites of hilarious shit told me. I'm just gonna have to.
And my cool thumbnail picture.
I know. Oh my god, the thumbnail picture. She was like, "Is this Pat?" I sent it to Em today. She's like, "Who is this, Pat?" She's like, "Yeah." It's like
I was like caught in the headlights. That was thought it sort of summed it up a bit.
Is that a self-portrait, or someone take that for you?
My girlfriend took that for me. I said, "Can you take a quick photo of me?" She went, "Yeah." And I literally stood up, holding all this stuff, and she was like, "How do you want it to look?" And I was like, "Well, how I'm holding it now." She's like, "It looks like you're about to get run over." I went, "Yeah." And she went, "We need a torch." So she balanced a torch on her head, pointing at me, which gives that really bright shadow, and then took the photo.
Perfect.
Just in my hallway.
I like the explanation and stories behind it as well. Well, I'll edit the image. I won't take anything away from it. I'll just
you do whatever you want with it.
And I'll send it to you and send you links in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sounds good. I haven't listened to today's episode yet. Actually, I'm gonna go and
that's James,
and have a little listen.
Yeah, that's cool. And then the next one after that is Mikey from Vino Sangre. He's
really? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
those guys are cool. Yeah.
Took me a few times to figure out how to say the bloody business name, but I think we're all right now.
at least they've got an Instagram and a website.
I know. Exactly. I know. Yeah, no, it's perfect. Awesome. I really appreciate it. I'm going to send you another t-shirt because
that's very kind of you. Yeah, if you could ping me your address, and I'll send you guys some shop shirts and your sizes. And I'll send you guys some shop shirts when I finally get around to doing it.
Thank you very much, Bab.
All right, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Chessie.
Cheers.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye.